Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we will see one easy level problem in LeetCode. So the problem is Pascal's triangle problem. So it's a 118, and then it's got very much good percentage of likes. It's like 9k like. So let's see what actually the problem statement given to us. So we have given the integer number of rows. Then what we need to return? We need to return the Pascal triangle, right? So let's understand what this Pascal triangles means. So we will be giving given the number of rows. So in our case that would be int num rows, and then whatever number of rows is there, that number of rows Pascal triangle we need to return. So let me quickly take the screenshot of this and then let me paste it over there. Right. What this Pascal triangle means basically in our case we have row count is equal to 5. Now if you see, this is the first row, this is the second, this will be third, fourth and fifth. So in first row we will be getting only one element. So if the row is 1, then element is 1. If 2, then 2 element, 3, 4 and 5. So basically whichever the row count equals to number of element. Now if you closely notice, in first and second row we will be having 1 1 1, right? In first row if there is only one element, zeroth row, zeroth row or first row. So in whichever row we will be inserting only one, right? So here we will be having only one, here also we will be having only one. And then in the second row, like 0 1 2, in the second row, what the thing is that in the first position and in the last position there will always be one, and in the middle element, that element will be the previous row's sum element. So in this here, 2 is the sum of this plus this, right? So in this third row, basically in the third row, so the first element always will be 1, second element, last element always will be 1, and the middle element, this will be 1 plus 1, like, right? So it will be 2. Now if we talk about the fourth row, in the fourth row, first element always will be 1, last element always will be 1. Now the second element will be the previous row first and second element sum. So this will be 2 plus 1, 3, and this one also 2 plus 1, 3. If you see, we discovered the third row. Now for like the fourth row. Now the last row, if we wanted to discover, the first element always will be 1 and the last element always will be 1. Now the second element, this will be the sum of these two. So 3 plus 1, 4, and then the sum of these two, so 3 plus 3 will be 6. The sum of these two, so 3 plus 1 will be 4. So that this will be our last row. This is the thing, like in Pascal's, basically the element in a row will be the sum of the previous row element. So let's see in a code how we can solve this problem. Okay, so yeah, we have written the code, and let me quickly take a snap of the code and then let's understand how this code is working. So the idea will be the same, and let me quickly paste it over there. Yeah. So how the code is working, so let's understand line by line. So we are at line 4, right? So in line 4, what it is, so here, so let's say we are giving the row count as 0. So in this case, what we will do, we will simply return an array list. So this statement is doing, so like this one is actually returning an array list. Now, so whenever the a number of row count is greater than 0, so in that case this line will execute, and then in this line what will happen, we'll create one list of integer. So list of integer, and then there is the type of array list. Now there are two loop basically. So this one is the outer loop, and then this one is the inner loop, right? So the outer loop will be having the number of rows, right? So we 1 2 3 4 5, we have 5 rows. So the outer loop will run from 0 till number of rows like less than 5. So it will run 5 times. Now in the in the basically the outer loop, when this loop will execute, we will create one list variable, and then we'll create basically an empty list. So our intention is that, so for this row we'll create one list and then add one and then put it in a result array. For this row we'll create a list, add two element, and then put it in a result array. So this will be result list basically. In this row, we'll create one list, we'll add three element into it, and then we'll put it in a result list. So this is the intention. So let's understand the inner loop. So inner loop, as we discussed above. So yeah, as we discussed above, just give me a second. Element in the last element every time it will be one, right? One. So that's what we are doing over here. Let me quickly go down. Yeah. So the first element and the last element. So yeah, oops, yeah. So first element and the last element. If we found the value of j like this, then what we will do? We'll add the one. So we'll add one over here, and then for these two, for these two, for these two, right? And then these two, last one, these two, right? If this is not the case, then what will happen? As we discussed, so let's say example of these third row, what will happen, it will go to the previous list, and then it will take the element and then add it and then put it over here. So this line, what it will do, so it will go to the, this is our master list, it will take the last list, get I minus 1, and then it will take the element from it. Likewise it will take the last list, and then it will, from that list it will take the like second last element of that list. So in this case, let's say we were on this one. So we have our in previous list, this is the element. So what it will do in a first and last. So these two will be put by one by this statement. So this statement will execute, and then we will put one and one and last. So for the second element, what it will go? It will go to previous list, and then it will fetch the I jth element and then j minus 1 element, and then combine it. So 2 plus 1 will be 3 over there. Likewise for this one, 2 plus 1 will be 3. So, and then it will form that list and then put it in a result list, right? So yeah, I hope the code is like you understand the code. Thanks for watching. Yeah, see you in the next video.